Now, protests over Jacob Zuma's arrests have spilled into Gauteng. In Alexandra, one person has been shot dead and police have arrested 18 suspects. 16 of them were arrested in connection with the shooting of a police officer who was rushed to hospital for urgent medical attention. The other two suspects were arrested for the possession of suspected stolen property and malicious damage to property. Our reporter Lindokuhle Xulu is joining us now. He's been tracking movements in and around the Johannesburg city centre. Lindo, thanks indeed for your time. I heard you earlier on in the bulletin saying that perhaps the situation has calmed down from earlier in the day. Does that remain the case?
Well, there's a difficult task, Devon, for the police. As you rightfully say, some of the areas have quieted down, but what we are seeing is that there is an approach from South African Police Service as well as the Johannesburg Metro Police Department, and what they're essentially doing is responding to some calls. I'll walk here to just show you what is happening. This large convoy of police has been driving around the CBD Johannesburg, just ensuring that they continue to try and cap some of those lootings that are happening in the area. I can tell you that this particular convoy, we met just driving out of Hillbrow, and now it is in Johannesburg CBD. What they are doing here is just basically assisting some of the liquor store traders. We understand that this particular store we will be showing you just shortly was being looted. So what they are doing is basically allowing them to pack away their stuff so that they move out. But this has been the situation throughout the day. The lootings have been reported, but some protest action we've also seen. At the moment, police are assisting one owner here basically to pack away, as my colleague Tami Kamane is showing you, just some of the evacuations that are happening, particularly of liquor stores, which is something we have been seeing throughout the day. But Devon, the situation is basically that police are now responding to some of these calls, distress calls, to say that they will be helping those that will be vacating. You see here, there was a looting happening. We did see about 2 gentlemen being handcuffed in this area. It does seem that they were also part of the lootings that were taking place here. But some of the owners here just evacuating, as you are seeing, Devon.
And I suppose that's perhaps the sad story or secondary story on this here, because you're bound to see more bouts of looting. We were just speaking to the liquor authorities in the previous bulletin, saying that this type of activity is increasing. And Lindo, I got to ask you, I suppose the packing up of some of these alcohols now again points to the fact that economic activity will be curbed, very likely as we start the next week. Not good for people earning money, I would imagine.
Lots of people are affected by this, and in fact we were at Alex earlier on, Devon. I can certainly tell you that similar scenes were playing out where people were evacuating, moving from some of their businesses. But essentially when we spoke to them, many of them didn't want to speak on camera because of the shock of what had happened to them. But what they were saying was that they were quite worried about the situation, the fact that as alcohol traders, some of them, it has been closed for them, so they were anxiously waiting for an address from the president to say 14 days has lapsed, now they can start trading. But that's not the case, because now they have to basically move out of their shops, they have to move to safety as some of these protests continue. You know, Devon, there is the element of criminality that has been cited by police. That is because we also know that many have been arrested because of these protests that are happening. But it's a similar situation all round where economic activity will be disrupted. Many shops across the Johannesburg precincts, the Johannesburg CBD, moving around, are closed. Everyone is closed. Everyone is fearing that there might be lootings happening. So at this stage, police are monitoring. But at the end of the day, as you can see, they come when it is an aftermath of some sort. So they respond to calls because they cannot be stationed everywhere. But at this stage, this is the situation where police simply just have to play it by ear. When there is a report of a certain looting, then they rush to where the looting is taking place. But certainly a huge disruption in terms of the economic activity, particularly in the Johannesburg CBD and in Hillbrow, as we've seen driving around, just observing the situation.
You touched on my next point as I let you go, Lindo. Is there enough police to go around here? Linda, if you're still with us, I was asking whether or not there's enough police to meet all the calls.
Well, Devin, I can tell you that as much as there are many police outside here, I'll ask Tami, my colleague, to come with me as I show you that huge convoy of police that we've been trying to follow around as it tries to respond to some of the calls that are taking place here. But certainly there is a lot of police out. There is a lot of JMPD cars as well outside here. Tami, my colleague, will show you. The problem is that these situations, these incidents are spiraling and they're mushrooming in different places. So that is the challenge, I think, that police are having in terms of policing this. But like I said, it is a matter of playing it by ear, responding to the situation as it presents itself. And at this stage, as you can see, a large number of them are basically in a convoy setting, and they're basically responding to some of those complaints from residents, from business owners, and thereafter they quickly make their way to some of these businesses to assist them in trying to find some sort of solution, which in this case is basically just evacuating some of these businesses.
All right, for the moment, Lindokuhle Xulu, thanks very much indeed for talking to us. Here's in the Johannesburg CBD as police respond to some of the looting that's happening in the area at bottle stores and taverns.